going on, y'all? Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast, where we discuss, debate, and sometimes argue on movies and TV shows, old and new. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz.
And I am Jason. A few house rules before we get into this review. 1, please have fun. 2, please like, share, subscribe. Let your people know, let your friends know what we are doing over here at the Was It Good Though. Number 3, we will be spoiling this review. So if you haven't seen it, stop here and come back after you've seen it. And lastly, and certainly not least, this is not a kid podcast in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So if you want to listen with your children, that is on you. That is not on us. I am here to let you know. Please stop or continue. Let's get to this review.
I was drinking way too much at the bar, and I was just like, let me try to bring it down a little bit. So yes, since I am on location, water.
I feel it. High quality H2O.
Yes. Gatorade H2O. Shout out to the water boy. You ready, Jason? Jason, like, nigga, you the one fucking up. All right, nigga. We all make mistakes.
We do.
But yes, what's going on, y'all? We are here to review fresh off the watch of Loki episode 5. Whew. Lord have mercy. Jason, let me first check in on you. Let me do a wellness check on you, my brother. Are you good?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm ready to get into it.
You ain't feeling noodly, are you? Because we got a lot of noodles in this episode.
I mean, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay.
Okay. I just want to start this episode off by giving a shout out to the writers, first and foremost. I know this is episode 5 and we definitely have another episode, but they have not missed at all in this season, and they didn't miss in season 1. But I just want to show my appreciation to the writers of this series because the writing has been amazing through the first 5 episodes of this series. And I also want to give a shout out to the shows that we have been getting, because it seems like this episode dropped the same night we got our season finale of Gen V, which is a show we will be discussing during our live. And also we got our season premiere of Invincible. I'm definitely going to check those out after we get through Loki. But I just want to say it's kind of like a geek. I don't want to say like a geek foursome. That might be kind of wild. That might be kind of wild. But it's just like a pleasure pool. Oh, I like that. A pleasure pool of shows that we have been getting. Yes, I'm gonna go that far. A pleasure pool of shows that we are getting tonight on Prime and on Disney Plus. So, Jason, let me ask you this: was there ever a time that you remember when you had so many major shows dropping on the same night? Right.
I can't recall because most times if it's the same network, they don't put them out at the same time. So they drop them, one after the other, or it may come on one to be ending, the one is beginning.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't even think of anything where I'm like, okay, all my shows dropping tonight. So I'm looking at it. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I think like what's coming to mind, this seems like the first time to where we have access to shows that obviously some of the hottest things out right now. And it's just they've been pushing this, and like especially a lot today, Thursday. And so I've just been like waiting. We've been talking about Invincible for a while when this series is going to drop. So I think it's great to see all of this coming out and just having such an amount of content for us to watch and to, of course, enjoy and review in our pleasure pool. So yes, I don't want to get too deep into that because I need to save my comments for when we decide to review that. So I just want to focus on Loki, but definitely want to give a shout out to those 3 shows because I don't think Invincible season 2 is going to fall short of season 1, but we'll discuss that when we do our live. But yes, Loki episode 5. And since this is normally, we are just fresh off of the watch, it's going to be open dialogue. Jason, I'm going to ask you, where would you like to start on this timeline? Because we see how this episode opened up. Loki was solo. He was by himself. Like, were you expecting that? Were you expecting to see the rest of the gang with him where he was? Or when he panned around the room, it was just him? Were you kind of like, okay, I kind of expected that?
I didn't know what to expect going into this episode, considering we felt as if everybody died, got erased, or went away. I truly didn't know. The one thing I did expect is for it to go back to when Loki got pruned. I thought it was gonna go back when Loki got pruned and he was on top of Mobius, and then they were just gonna be in the cycle, trying to do it again. And because Ravonna is on the outside of the TVA or whatever they're in, I felt like she would have been the outlier that could actually fix whatever the problem was, to reign her terror in the end.
Right. And like we discussed in our episode 4, I pretty much, said the same thing, that the scenarios that we expected came to fruition, because, and I don't even know why we didn't even think like maybe they would return to their timelines. Like when I looked at this, I was just like, damn, I didn't even think about that. Cause I was just like, oh, them motherfuckers dead. They're out of here.
Yeah.
So, but I was just, and we kind of got what you expected. We didn't see Mobius on the jet ski the ocean.
We seen him on the jet ski. He was on the jet ski. Maybe not in the ocean. It was a fake ocean, but he was on the jet ski.
Right. This is true. And you could just see, like, I guess the happiness when he was out trying to sell the jet skis. And I thought it was funny because when he was just like, do you want an ATV? No, you used to work in the TVA. Like, same letters. I was like, okay. I thought that was dope. Because when I was just like, But what was the most shocking scene for you in this episode? Now, I know it was quite a few. So let me just get the first one that jumps into your mind.
The most shocking scene. I don't know. I don't think truthfully, I don't know if anything was too shocking that came. I thought it was a real dope episode, how they tied everything in the end. Right. on the episode. But I guess when Sylvie realized it, I guess that's what I ride with. When Sylvie realized, okay, this nigga right again. I gotta go ride with him again. Because she was just looking in the middle of it like, ain't this a bitch? And then she had to go like, okay, you right. You right.
And it was her mess. She is the cause of all of this. And she realized, like, when we discussed in our earlier reviews of like, okay, when are we going to start seeing the repercussions of what her actions of killing he who remains? When are we going to start seeing that? And I love the fact that we were starting to see it, and how it started off so slow in different scenes, in different elements of things no longer being there after it was placed there. And one of the scenes when I did a rewatch, which is funny, it's like, how were you able to do a rewatch when I was definitely able to get a rewatch in, or half a rewatch. And so seeing when Sylvie and Loki were at the bar, and she was like, give me 2 bourbons. And I thought it was interesting when the bartender said, great choice, Sylvie, to where it's like, you have a choice to get whatever you want. So of course, free will. And the bartender brought 2 shot glasses, but Sylvie's the only one that took hers. And Loki was going to take his after Sylvie left, but it was no longer on the table. And I was just like, wait, did he ever get it? But he did, but it just was no longer there. Yeah.
I noticed that because I thought it was Loki at the end when it was coming into Sylvie at the record shop. I thought that was Loki coming into it, and he just disappeared. I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
Right.
And then I seen a dude pouring the coffee, then his cup disappeared. And then he seen as the spaghetti or whatever noodles or whatever was happening, and he's running down like he's trying to protect or go and save Sylvie, then he was just like, what? Then she was just looking like she just looked so defeated, like, bruh, I did all this. I took the guy out and I'm still dealing with it. Like, but he told you that. Like,
he did. I mean, he kind of told you what would happen, but you didn't take him serious. You thought he was lying. And now you see from, in your face of like all of these things being evaporated. And I'm not gonna lie, this reminded me of Infinity War of the blimp, but instead it's noodles. So I thought that was pretty cool how they kind of incorporated that. How did you feel about seeing where everybody was on their designated timelines? Because Casey out here stealing. Well, he's actually breaking out of jail, which was not the path I would have put him on, which has shocked me a lot. Everybody else made sense except for Casey's. But how did you feel about like seeing each character in their own timelines?
Yeah, Casey escaping from Alcatraz in the 60s was definitely a wild card. It would have been real dope if they would have had Casey watching Scream, but it is what it is. Just like, and he could have been in 96 or something like that, doing that. Hunter B15, her being a doctor or nurse, I'm gonna say doctor. Her being a doctor, that was almost expected. It seemed like that's what she would do because that kind of fits her personality. It's kind of sad with Obi, to a certain extent, with him being a struggling writer, but he is a scientist, so that was kind of funny too. I enjoy Obi's character as well. And his room, Slick looked like his room in the TVA on the cool. That the little whatever that abandoned building he has, it looks kind of like the TVA, his room at the TVA.
I ain't even catch that. I have to check that out on my rewatch times 3.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Rewatch.
Right. But I thought it was funny when he was trying to buy his own book. And they're like, wait a minute. We're not even selling this.
He did laying them out. Just putting them up in there, like people gonna be like, oh, what's this? Let me.
Right. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect him to be in like every episode or almost every episode. I thought he was just going to be in like 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's been like consistent in so many episodes, which I've enjoyed his character a lot, but I was just shocked when I saw him in this. I was just like, damn, he's been like a very important piece to this entire puzzle. Because if you remove him, I mean, Loki's lost,
Mm-hmm.
So he was definitely a very important asset in all of this. But
I like that conversation that they was having though, him and Obi and Loki. When they was in the room, and he was like, a lot of people think it's the what and the how, but in fiction it's the why. You should just, like, when it comes to you should try to control it. It was like, man, I don't this shit just happen out. It's just happening at random. He said, well, is it happening at random? And then it's a movie like that. I can't think of it or the show that was like every time while you think stuff is happening at random, you're going into the places that you need to be every time. So you're doing it the right way. And it might be Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty may be the show, which, I mean, Rick and Morty's writers, I think the old writers write this. So
okay.
It would make sense as to how they can do timeline jumps and different stuff. Because that's a whole multiversal show in itself as well. But they do stuff like this all the time.
Right. Yeah. So when we see where the time slipping whole thing came from, because I was curious if we were going to actually come back to this and get kind of an explanation. And in this episode, it seems like this is where Obi kind of made up the terminology. And so it kind of maybe embedded itself in his mind. And he was like, oh, he's time slipping. He's like, well, what is that? Or like, how do you prevent that? He's like, man, I don't know. I've never seen it before. So it's kind of like memories are being made in this episode that were referenced in the earlier episodes.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. I like that.
So I was just like, so all of these interactions and things that Loki seems to have gone through in this episode needed to happen to get the characters where they were in episode 1. So kind of like you said, like the hamster wheel, we're just on a different part of that particular wheel. And so, and I thought it was funny because the quote came back up like, I'll gut you like a fish.
And that's why I say you should have been watching like Scream or something.
Right. And I was just like, that's funny because that was the first thing Loki said to him when they first interacted in season 1, which is also a reference to Scream 1 when Ghostface told Casey, you hang up on me again, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. So I was just like, oh wow, like for that quote to be repeated again in this like season 2, whoever wrote this is obviously Scream fans. Ain't nobody quoting Michael Myers. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah. So how did you feel about Mobius and his kids? Because you see he has a family. He was just like, I'm a single father. One of his kids bad as hell, probably gonna be a shooter. Do you think like if Mobius would have gone back to his timeline when Brad told him, he would have been like, yeah, let me go ahead and not rock with the TVA anymore because I have a whole family down here.
Man, Mobius going back, not having a wife, which one I wonder if that's going to be anything. Him not having a wife, like that, is that going to be a storyline in itself? But him having children, that was interesting because I guess he does give he does have like a father energy, but at the same time, it's just like, oh wow. And his kids are like on 2 different total ends of the spectrum, and he's trying to hold together himself best he can, which I feel like that's him in all aspects of everything. He's just like, all right, it's so much chaos, but I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep moving no matter what's going on. I'm not gonna let what you may feel is bad be bad for me.
Yeah, that's true. Because I was just like, damn, you got 2 of them? And one of them bad as hell? All right. And then he was trying to sell Loki one of the jet skis. He was just like, the wife's no longer here, so I have an extra one. So I guess that means the sons aren't riding the jet skis. But they're kind of small anyway, so.
Yeah, they a little too. And like you said, if he gonna be a shooter at some point, yeah, you probably don't want him on a jet ski. No way. He probably hurt himself or something.
That might save some lives. Nah, no playing. That was a joke. But nah, like, so within this episode, there was so much conflict, but there wasn't an actual villain.
Mm-hmm.
It was like circumstances and trying to fix past errors that happened was their biggest conflict. Like, how did you feel about that? Because of course, in a lot of these series and shows, there's kind of like a villain, like an entity that we come across. But within this, realistically, outside of, you got Renslayer. She was like a threat in like 1 episode, maybe 1.5. And then you had Liza. But it seems like trying to fix the TVA from the mistake that Sylvie, who is kind of a hero, made. They're trying to fix that. Like, how are you feeling about the direction of that? And
so, all right. So with that, before Loki in the beginning, before he left out, you do see Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes does make an appearance in this episode. She has like whatever it is, she has some kind of fail-safe set up, and then she like winks before Loki disappears again. So I don't know if she knows what's going on or she has an idea because she's supposed to be reset, so she should know nothing. But I mean, there's no telling, what she can do. Can't do. She can't make a body, but she may be able to do some stuff with time. There's no telling in that. So for it to be episode, I was trying to think about the last episode 5. I think that's when we had the battle of the Lokis, or the who's the best Loki. And then that it wasn't. I mean, they kind of went against the whatever that little
Goliath.
It was a Goliath, yeah, going against it. But I guess it's also like in that, I feel like it was almost a come to realization episode as well. But I mean, with it being the episode before the finale, I think that always pays off, or is always like that anyway. So yeah, I thought they were gonna be like they're missing Kane, so I thought we were gonna get a version of him in this episode, or something like that. So
yeah, I was too, because I was curious. I was like, okay, are we gonna get another Kang? I think if we do, it's going to be something hinting at another variant. I don't think we're going to actually see it, but I'm curious how they're going to wrap up episode 6.
yeah, they say these last two gonna be two of the best ones. So I'm curious. I'm
Yeah.
definitely curious. I'm staying away from trailers and stuff like that because they do say in the trailer they show something that they probably shouldn't in there. And I seen a lot of people talking about the jet ski. Not on whenever the trailer came, they were like, "Is event they gonna get one?" So I'm glad they paid the jet ski off in there. Even if it was like a little small nod, it was a nod to something that they've been talking about for the longest.
Right. And just him actually selling them, because you just kind of see like just happiness and seeing where their lives were prior to the TVA. And so I thought that was just like, I thought that was important, especially seeing our 4 characters in that space. When the episode came on, you just see Loki and you're just like, okay, Loki's going to collect his squad.
Mm-hmm.
And so would you have gone back to get Casey?
Yeah, Casey and OB was a good team. He knew the book just as well as OB. So yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at that. I'm not saying I wouldn't have gone to get him, but I think he might have been like the last one.
For sure, easily. That I mean, he was technically. When it came
Was he?
to
I thought Mobius was I thought Sylvie was the last one.
Sylvie don't count. Come on now, Sylvie moved on her own free will. I'm just saying, like Casey was the last one he went to go get. Like he tried to go get. Like he didn't try to get Casey. He just popped up on Casey. He went to go try to find Sylvie though. Yeah, well, I guess he didn't try to go find her. He just showed up where she was at.
How did you feel about them actually like Loki time slipping again? Because like when I seen it, I was like, oh shit, like we back to this.
I mean, that's like I said, that's why I thought I thought the episode was just gonna start over from episode 1 again. Him time slipping, going these different places, and he got to get pruned. To be fair, I thought they were just gonna redo that entire cycle, but you will see the Ravona's herself trying to get back or do whatever she's doing to make it back to where they are. But yeah.
Okay. And so how did you feel about the conversation between Loki and Sylvie at the bar? Because we come to realize, I mean, we can say that Sylvie's selfish and all of that, but we don't really say too much about Loki's selfishness because it doesn't really show too much. Do you feel like it showed a lot during this bar scene of them having a conversation?
No, actually. I do feel like I feel like they're both growing, right? I think Sylvie and Loki, they're both growing. We can see that from them. Now they're growing in a different, they're growing in a different place. Loki has always been selfish. So the stuff that he's doing now isn't as selfish as it once was. So while yes, he's trying to get his friends back together, he's never had, when has Loki ever had a friend? So
I mean, Thor was his friend. That's just his brother. Your sister can be his friend.
It's not his friend.
Oh.
Like when I mean, like he literally was fighting him and trying to like be evil the entire time. So I get what you're saying, like this love-hate relationship, but it's not like that now with Loki and Mobius. It's completely different. If you look at their relationship. And then you got Sylvie, like I said, she's growing, but she's coming into a place of peace. Like you said, I think you mentioned that in the first one. She's never had it. She doesn't know what it feels like. She doesn't know what it looked like. So now that she's obtained it, she wants to keep it. Like if you once you get to that place, if you understand boundaries and you understand what that is, what it looks like, what it feels like, of course you're not gonna want anything to disrupt that. You would do some things to keep your peace, like because you were able to obtain that. So, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, she's been very selfish for a situation or a move that she made that's fucking up not just their lives, but the entire multiverse, universe, when it comes to it.
Do you think they're gonna find a solution in episode 6?
I don't know what to think. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what would the solution be in this.
So I think like the end of season 1, it wasn't a solution, but it was more so of a, you did something and we're going to see the repercussions of that. But it's like a cause and effect. I don't think episode 6 will be a cause and effect type of episode. I think it's going to leave us on a cliffhanger to where you have to wait to see what happens. So where something's gonna, like, they're gonna go through so much shit and it's just gonna leave us like, wait, I need some more. Or which movie or series is going to pick this back up? I think it's going to be unfinished. I wouldn't say episode 6 of season 1 was unfinished in a way. Well, shit, actually, no, that's not true, because when he saw He Who Remains a Statue, that's kind of tough. I mean, so I would say like episode 4, how that ended, that was unfinished. If we were to get like an event like that, I do think we're going to get something to that magnitude at the end of 6. Am I explaining this correctly? Do you see the vision?
You think the way 4 ended is how 6 will end?
Yes, not the same way, but I think it's going to be on that magnitude to where
as
it's
big
just
as
like,
it is. Like you just like, what the
right?
Fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Because I mean, I don't know. They say it's supposed to finally go back into the main story with whatever happens. This is supposed to go back into it. So I don't know. I don't watch the little trailer that they have for it. Or the next
I didn't
episode,
either.
nothing like that. Like I let it marinate, I let it sit. But however, I don't know. I don't know. It's but I like that. I like not knowing, not being able to figure it out, because once you can figure it out, it takes the excitement out of it, takes the fun out of the actual.
Right.
It takes it out for me at least.
No, yeah, same. Because I'm just sitting here trying to think of different scenarios, and if I come up with 5 and then it's actually 7 that what we get, then I'm like, well, damn, okay, I ain't mad at that. That means everybody in that writing room was like, okay, somebody's gonna think of that. We need something different. So they just spitballing, throwing ideas out there like what could work. So that makes it a lot more entertaining and enjoyable for a viewer, in my opinion. You don't want to guess what's gonna happen, because like you said, it just takes the fun out of it. But if Loki were to come to you and tell you, you got to leave your kids, we got to go fix this thing at the TVA that's not there anymore, but I can bring you back to where your kids at, are you leaving or are you staying?
Did I see him time slip in front of me?
No, but you did see him come through a door that was transparent, and then you saw another gentleman walk through a door that was a lot shorter than him.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm going, because I mean, you to pop up out of thin air, out of a transparent door that you didn't open it, you just slid out and ain't nothing behind it. I'm different. Yeah, I'm riding, because clearly you know some shit I don't know, and maybe my use is this. But then, like I said, you look back. Yeah, he looking at himself. Obi is looking at himself like, damn, hold up. Everything is pretty much, what is it, predestined, I guess, because you can see yourself off to the side.
they're just showing us different pieces as to why free will is non-existent. Like none of it is. Because we see, like in the beginning, even Loki, when he was picking up the TVA book, when he walked into the room and he saw somebody from a distance. And like when I first saw that scene, I was like, oh, that's definitely him. And then he did a time slip. And I think that's when he went to go end up where Casey was. And then he went back. Nobody was there. And he picked that book up. And then behind him, you see him looking at that. I'm just like, whole hamster wheel. And it's weird.
I was saying, I wonder if the finale will be just the full picture of what we've been watching this entire season.
I mean, possibly, but so let's just say, for example, so let's just spitball like what we might get. If we were to get that to where all the pieces would come together, and then in the end, you see a variant of Kang. Not He Who Remains, not Victor Timely. Mm-hmm. You see a variant of Kang just watching that whole thing.
Oh, shit. Who is the TVA mimicked out after? Because they never said that.
They didn't. And I'm curious, since you no longer have the TVA, like, you just got branches just being destroyed. So I'm curious, are we going to see a variant of somebody on one of those branches?
I still, my wild card pick is OB as a variant of Kang. And he just been jigsaw the whole time, just in the middle of it, just to see how this turns out and ensuring everything goes the way to plan. Like that's my wild card pick in episode 6.
I'm not gonna lie, that would blow my fucking mind. Like, I would just be like, wait, to where he got some device on himself to where he can, like, I guess, transform into somebody else. And that would make sense because he's been like kind of like on Loki's hip the whole time. Like Loki's been going to him to get information. And so to where he would put somebody else's face in the book that he wrote, that would be wild. My mind would be blown. I would just be like,
but it's dope that he figured out how to use that book, but he was like, yeah, it took 18 months. He was like, oh, it was just like 5 minutes for me, like since I left and came over here. And these niggas said it's been 18 months. Yeah, my wife left me. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I said, I'm sorry, OB. Maybe it was that book. Maybe the book wasn't that good as you thought it was going to be. But I need Sylvie to say I apologize. I fucked up. It's on me. I need her to like hold some accountability in this situation, because none of this would be happening if you did not kill He Who Remains.
Man, look, she was on her rampage. She didn't care. That's how she seen red, and she went for it. Whatever happens, it happens.
Yeah, that's easy to say until you're in a record store listening to a fire record, and then everything turns into noodles around you.
And she was just like, man, I wonder why I didn't. Her and Loki, they always the last two in that type of scenario.
So Loki makes sense as to why he's not getting removed from the timeline, because he's not supposed to be there in the first place. And Sylvie was jumping through timelines for so long, but then she did get removed at first, but then Loki is able to control his time slip and then go back into time. How did you feel about that, like, twist?
I wonder, is this going to be a new power that he would have moving forward? Because it's almost like cheating to a certain extent, but it is a dope power to have. Like, I mean, because we've seen Thanos use it. When he used the time stone, he watched Wanda kill Vision. He was like, no, I got me fucked up, y'all. Let me bring this nigga back. Come on, move, girl.
He died twice.
Like, yeah, like, so. But I mean, I'm curious if he's gonna be able to keep that power. Like, he's gonna be able to own how that power works. if so, that'll be a dope one to see and see how he uses it.
Would that be something that's only available in the TVA?
He ain't in the TVA.
Where they at?
In the world.
He
literally was in 1962, 1994, 2002, or
You right.
2022.
Nah, you right.
He was in
I
there.
mean, but them timelines, they gone. So
those are branch timelines. I will say that. I wish they would have went a little deeper with B-15. Like, I wish she had more in this episode. And then her being in New York in 2012 was also like, I feel like when the Avengers movie
that
came
was
out
the
there,
Avengers. Yeah.
like that should have. I feel like there should have. I thought there was gonna be like a. When I seen, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be something like the other people was like when I seen that thing, I was like, all right, ain't nothing really significant that I can think of. But those numbers, that shit might be stuff. If you look it up, it might be something. But her being New York 2012, they should have been some kind of Shatari invasion conversation. People seeing Loki like, wait, you the motherfucker that just killed all the people.
I mean, but to be fair, every detail that we've seen that has caught our eye in this season has been brought back, has been utilized. So we might get that in episode 6. But that's definitely a good call out, though. That'd be dope if they bring that back. I don't think it was just on accident. Because I feel like when it comes to Marvel dates, certain things stick out. So, and we've already went back into time, I think during 2012 in Endgame. Mm-hmm. So maybe they didn't want to bring too much attention to it. But no, I think like
shit, they went in, this show started in 2012. What you mean?
I get that. Actually, nah, you're right. So I mean, we'll see. I have faith that will be something that's brought back up. But was there any like scenes that stuck out to you that you wanted to discuss?
No. The scene in the record store is probably my favorite. In this episode, the Casey was the one that was just so out of place, like him being a thug, I guess. I mean, it kind of, I want to say if he was somebody that was scrapping, like fighting in the TVA, then I'd be like, okay, I see this makes sense, but it just didn't make sense. Like what? I'm like, what the fuck is he running from? And then now Alcatraz at that.
I'm like, what you in for, Casey? Because that kind of threw me off. I was like, all right, like everybody else's timeline made sense. Casey's just didn't. And I'm curious as to like, is there a reason for that or not? And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it probably is, because it just to pick somebody leaving Alcatraz just seems kind of random unless there's a reason for it.
Oh, we don't know the reason why each person was picked. That'd be a nice if they try to went into that more.
What you mean?
Like what purpose? Like did they have a purpose as to why they got picked and put inside the TVA? Like,
gotcha.
Or is it just like the branch timeline version of them, or is it the sacred timeline version of them that got put into the TVA?
That's a good question. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they explore that, because they've been exploring a lot of different avenues with these characters. So, because they've been sharing a lot of the screen time with Loki. So this like season hasn't just been Loki by himself. Like, I mean, it's named Loki, but we've gotten a lot of different storylines and really good ones for the other characters. So, and the fact that we ain't really got like a bit like additional Loki variant. Like we've seen him in different, I guess, timelines of him seeing himself in the past or in the future, but not engaging with himself like he was last season.
Oh yeah. Outside of him just calling out to himself or pruning himself,
right?
In those situations, yeah. But yeah, man. One more. We got one more.
Yeah. I'm excited. I am. I'm curious to see how it's going to end. I hope it's not on a cliffhanger, but I'm curious if it will tie into the Marvels. I don't think it will,
I don't think so.
But if we get, no, I think that's too close for comfort, just in case if anybody sees anything. Or like if you watch Loki, but you haven't seen the Marvels, I don't think it'll be anything like a spoiler. But I don't know. Next week, all Marvel, all heroes. So,
Yep.
but, so I thought it was creative when Sylvie walked into the record store and the song that was playing was "Love Doesn't Live Here Anymore." I thought that was really creative, especially being that I believe that scene was after Loki had talked to the group, was like, all right, y'all go ahead, go back home. Y'all don't need to worry about TVA. We don't need a TVA and things like that, to where it's kind of just like what we had before is no longer here. So y'all just go to y'all regular timelines, just split up. And it's kind of just like, well, I guess the love that was kind of building for Loki, the purpose, the glorious purpose, is no longer there. And so I thought that was kind of dope for that particular song to be playing in that scene. And so
yeah, that plays on both. I think that plays on both of them though. Like, because even with Sylvie, because she loves where she is. Like she loves she's like you said, she know the bartender. She had Magna, she got a job. She know the people at the record store. So just like you said, like that's what she was there for. It's for the love, the stuff that she wasn't able to have, but she hadn't felt. And unfortunately, shit, it's not there no more.
Yeah, it's crazy. I felt bad for Loki because he's just like, I want the TVA and all of that, to where it kind of brings into your mind as to why he made the decision that he made at the end of season 1. And I don't know if it's because like the relationship and the friendship and the family that he created or was able to build with everybody. But it was just, he's just like, I don't want to lose that, because then it's just him. He's just alone, because he's just like, I don't have anything outside of them. Which Sylvie was just like, well, we both kind of selfish then, because you're trying to put them back into something that they didn't choose to be in just so you can have them. And that might not be what they want. So the character development between them, I think, was great, has been amazing. But I'm definitely curious to see what episode 6 gonna bring us, because at this point, I have no idea.
That's a good place to be in, man. Good place to be in. They wrote a hell of an episode last season. Hopefully they can write this up, close this up. Nice little ribbon and a bow to finish this season, man. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, that's all that I had. Did you have anything else for this episode?
No, I think that was pretty much it. I enjoyed it. Very good watch. I think I'll probably do like a full-on series rewatch after everything. But yeah. Do you have any? I know like we don't know exactly where it's going to go, but do you have any kind of like thoughts?
Obi, that's my only thought.
Okay. He's a Kang variant.
He's just a variant of Kang.
Okay.
Yep. That's why he's so close to everything.
Do you still think Mobius is gonna die?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Especially because they keep giving us these little tea leaves. They keep giving us these little moments. So now we get introduced to his kids. And I feel like in this season they're gonna dive more into them, like into each person. So Sylvie, Loki, and Mobius, they really dive into their characters. So I can see it. I can see him getting up out of here, but that'll be it. I mean, at least he's in both full seasons, so you can't really be mad at that. But I fully expect Renslayer and Miss Minutes to be back next episode. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think if anybody dies, and I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does, and I have to pick somebody, I'm gonna say B15.
I heard.
because I don't think they'll kill off Mobius, and I don't think they'll kill off Casey. Or hell, they might kill off two of them. They might get Casey and B-15 out of here.
But if B-15, would it hit for you?
Yeah. I mean, because it'll be one of those situations where, because like before we started recording, I remember somebody said, they said this episode 5, was like Infinity War, and then episode 6 will probably be like Endgame.
Okay.
And so I was just like, if that's the case,
it's bold.
It's bold, but I guess more so Infinity War Endgame on the level of Loki. But it might just like, it might hit heavy, which means in my mind, if you're going to have an episode that hits heavy, you're going to have people die. Now, could be Mobius, B-15 could be out of here, Casey could be out of here. Especially if it comes out to be that OB is a Kang variant.
What they kill Loki?
Officially. I don't think that's gonna happen. They might kill Sylvie.
Yeah. Mobius at the top of my list. Sylvie number 2. Obi would be 3, if I say.
But that's all I have.
Man, but yes, this is the bonus episode. Episode 5, season 2 of Loki. We'd like to shout out to everybody that's listening, following, chatting with us, subscribing. We are on the hunt for 500 subscribers on our YouTube page. So please bring a friend, share it with a friend, share it with your family, share it with your church group chat, your girl group chat, your boy group chat, with your side chick, your side dude, your mistress, your husband, wife, the other Mr., your missus, whatever it is. Put it out there. Just let them know what we're doing over here. I think that was everything there, man. I think that's it, right? I ain't missed nothing, right?
I mean, we're fresh off the watch, so.
Well, I'm talking about more so in the end there, the end part. I ain't the episode. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so now it's just. I don't know where to go from here. I'm just like, shit, they should leak number 6. And I'm just playing. Don't leak it.
Don't leak it. Don't leak it.
Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. But this is the Was It Good Though podcast. I am Jason. I'm joined with Jazz. Until next time. Deuces.
Cheers.